Hare Krishna. Today we are reading from the Bhagavatam for this Kartik Mas, Canto 10, Chapter 13. So, Canto 10, Chapter 13. Today we are text number 2. And over here in text number 2, Sukdev Goswami Maharaj is saying that Paramhamsas, devotees who have accepted the essence of life, are attached to Krishna in the core of their hearts. Right? Those who are attached to Krishna, now once you have learned about what is the essence of life, right? The goal of this life is not just eating, mating, sleeping, working, and then dying one day. That's it. Right? But the essence of life is to end the cycle of birth and death, is to go back to Krishna, go back to Godhead, go back where we came from. That is the essence of this life. And those devotees who have accepted that this is the essence, they have made this their goal of life. Right? They have made this the goal of their life. So just yesterday or day before yesterday, a few days ago, there was a video that was released. And in that, it is explained that if we live about 80 years, okay, and there's a pictorial representation, we will share that in a little bit. But if you live 80 years and you sleep 7 hours every day, you have slept for almost 30 years of your life. Right? We have slept, so our 30 years goes in sleep. And then we spend 6 hours on the phone every day, our screen time. Everyone should open up their screen time and look at the average of how much time we are spending on the screens every single day. Right? If you look at that, of how much time we are spending on our screens every single day, it is minimum 6 to 8 hours. People spend 10, 12 hours also a day. One child was playing online and he posted a picture that, look, yesterday I was online for 20, my screen time was showing 25 hours. There are only 24 hours in a day. Look, but my screen time is 25 hours, and he was so proud of it. Right? But if you're watching, even on average, the screen time is about 6 hours a day. If you're watching 6 hours a day of screen time, that becomes 24 years of our life. That is if you're living 80 years. So imagine spending 24 years of your life, right? Living, wasting it on these reels. Half the reels that we may have seen yesterday or day before yesterday, we won't even remember them today. Right? So if we sleep for 7 hours a day, we're spending 24 years sleeping. And then if we are watching screen time 6 hours a day, that is about 20 years of our life gone. And then if we are working on our laptops, we have to do other work. And if you average that to another 6 hours a day, another 24 years of our life are spent on that. And then comes some relaxing time, some vacation time where you want to just get away, you don't want to do anything. That is another about on roughly, about 12, 13 years where we are just not doing anything, or we are relaxing, or we are not doing much, right? And then what is left? All of that adds up to about 77 years. And then we spend about 1 hour a day reading or doing our hobbies or something like that. Doing something for 1 hour a day, right, for 80 years, it becomes only adds up to only 3 years of our life. How much does it add up to? Only 3 years of our life. So if we are doing something for 1 hour a day, right, it adds up to only 3 years over those 80-year period. And just in screen time, right, we are spending about 70% of our life if you remove the sleep from it. So just imagine, we're spending about 40 years of our life, 20 years on phone, averaging 6 hours a day, 20 years on the laptop or desktop or something that we have to use for work or for, other purposes. So 40 years of our life is gone. Over here, we are not even, right? We're not even considering that if we spend some time chanting, remembering Krishna, serving the Lord or anything, right? So what was the breakdown, if everybody remembers? It was sleep, right? Which is 27 years of our, or 24 years of our life. Then screen time is another 20 years. And then laptop and work time is another 20 years. And then the bare minimum that we have to do for life, like brushing, showering, cooking, right? Life routine, life that goes on. That is 15 years, 17 years. And then 3 years on our hobbies spent reading or doing something 1 hour a day. Now, if we say that now we are an initiated devotee, right? I wake up, I'm spending 2 hours a day chanting, 1 hour a day serving the Lord. Right? That is still only 3 hours a day on average. And if you calculate that, over 80-year period, we have given less than 15 years of our life to Krishna. And we expect that just by giving only 15 years out of 80 years, right, that is not even 20%. It's like 17, 18% of our life giving that to Krishna. We think just because we are chanting, we have become pure. We're a big, great devotee of Krishna. Just because I'm cooking and offering bhoga to Krishna, that I am, I'm making my life, that my life is completely successful. It is there, it is successful. But in relation to everything else, it is such a small percent. We think that we give Krishna 1 or 2 hours a day, and at the end, when we die, that we go back to Godhead. How will that work? We have given Krishna less than 15, 20% of our time that we have been alive. And that is if you are chanting since birth. Some of us came into devotional service when we were into devotional bhakti, right? When we are 20, 30, 40, 50 years old. So just imagine that how much small percent of our time every day we are giving to Krishna. And in that also, when we are chanting, our mind is going to 1,000 places. When we are serving, we're thinking about so many other things. Whatever we are doing also, we're not doing sincerely. So we should learn from this, that at least give dedicated time to Krishna for chanting in the Brahma Muhurat. That time is Krishna's time. Why do they say that Brahma Muhurat, get up and chant? Because at that time, sleep is at its peak. It is very hard to wake up during that time. But on the other end, everything else around us, the energy is very positive during that time. Not many people are awake. There is so much positive energy flowing. And we have to use that as an accelerator, right? To make progress on this path of bhakti. Because over here, when Sukdev Goswami Maharaj is saying that Paramhamsas who have accepted, devotees who have accepted the essence of life, are attached to Krishna in the core of their hearts. So these Paramhamsas, these pure devotees, are thinking about Krishna 24 hours a day. In fact, our Param Guru Srila Bhaktipad, he used to sleep very little bit. And even in that time, he used to think about Krishna. Once Srila Bhaktipad had an operation, a surgery to occur. And he had to go through anesthesia. And when you all know that when we take anesthesia, we become unconscious for a little bit. Right? For the time of the surgery, 1 hour, 2 hours or something. And Srila Bhaktipad asked Bapuji that tell the doctors, I will not take anesthesia. They can numb that area of where the surgery needs to happen. They can use as much as whatever they want in that, but I will not become unconscious. They should not make me unconscious. But Bapuji said, Srila Bhaktipad, otherwise, you will be in a lot of pain. Why not just take the anesthesia? Bhaktipad said that if I become unconscious, then that means at that time I will not be thinking about Krishna. And I don't even want a moment to pass by where I'm not thinking about Krishna. So Bapuji went to convince the doctor. The doctor would not listen because they know that the surgery, a person needs to take anesthesia and be unconscious. But somehow or another, Bapuji convinced, otherwise Bapuji said Bhaktipad will not come for the surgery. Somehow or another, the doctor agreed. Just imagine how much pain Bhaktipad must be going through by only putting numbing, serious numbing medicine or lotion or something at the area of the surgery versus being unconscious. But Paramhamsas like Bhaktipad, Bapuji, Prabhupada, they are attached to Krishna in the core of their hearts. And they are spending their entire life, their entire 24 hours a day thinking about Krishna. Whereas us, we are barely spending 2-3 hours maximum thinking about Krishna. Right? Then how can we say that, how it is that we will go back? Yes, if we surrender with Krishna's mercy, with Guru Maharaj's mercy, we will go back in this lifetime. But that doesn't mean that we take all of that mercy for granted. We have to sincerely also spend time serving Krishna, chanting Krishna's name, spending those dedicated few hours chanting. Paramhamsas are spending 24 hours a day of their life, right, in Krishna consciousness. So even if they came into Krishna consciousness at 10, 15, 18, right, but through their 80-year journey, they have given more than 50, 60 years of their life to Krishna. 75%. In America, even the passing is 65% to pass any grade. Right? That is a D. Paramhamsas are all at level A. They are giving their entire life, their entire time to Krishna. But at least let us not fail. Anything below 65 is failure. Right? Let us not fail in this. Let us give Krishna dedicated time. So the Paramhamsas, devotees who have accepted the essence of the life, are attached to Krishna in the core of their hearts. And he is the aim of their lives. Krishna is their only aim. The only aim of the Paramhamsas is to spread the glories of Krishna across the whole world, to spread the holy name. And it continues exactly what we were discussing, that Srila Sukdev Goswami says that it is their nature to talk only of Krishna at every moment, as if such topics were newer and newer. That's why you will see when Paramahamsas talk about Krishna, they may have described that katha hundreds of times, but every time they say it, they have more and more enthusiasm. And they think, wow, Krishna, look at the pastimes you are performing. And they find something new in that pastime every single time. So we also need to listen to every single word from our from the lotus mouth of our spiritual master, the sadhus, that as if it is we were listening to it for the first time. Right? They are attached to such topics, just as materialists are attached to women and sex. So just as materialist, all of the material people, what do they want? They want women and money and all of this the whole day. Right? But now that is one end of the spectrum. The opposite end, these Paramamsas, pure devotees, are always thinking about Krishna. We think today, oh, if the stock market goes up, I can make more money. The housing prices goes up, I will make more money. How can I earn more money, more money, more money? I'm going to work. Let me do good now so that I can make more money. I can get a good bonus. I can switch and make more money at a different company. Right? That is the only goal. Materialists are always thinking that how can I make more money, get more wealth, develop good status in society? But Paramahamsas are always thinking about Krishna. Now, this is the Kali Yuga. We need money to survive. But we should not make money the goal of our life. We should make Krishna the goal of our life. Right? Then, yes, we will spend 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours a day working to earn that money. But we shouldn't be crazy behind it that I want to work so much that I get millions of dollars and then we don't do anything for Krishna. We forget about Krishna. We have to make Krishna the center of our lives, not money, not women. We have to make Krishna the center of our life. And when we make Krishna the center, whatever work we are doing, whatever money we're getting from that, we are offering bhoga to Krishna, we're donating in charity, we're giving to our spiritual master, to our sadhus. भाई दाता इतना दीजिए जहाँ मैं कुटुंब समाए मैं भी भूखा ना रहूं ना मेरा संत भूखा जाए. That's all we need. We should not go hungry. Our sadhu, our spiritual master, our guru should not go hungry. That's it. That is the goal of life, to earn enough where you are comfortable, but not so much that you accumulate so much wealth that it starts becoming the only goal of your life. So where the materialists are constantly running behind that and the money, 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 and then they make so much money, then they're like, oh, we need a break. Now I need a vacation. Now I need a break. I'm so tired of all this. And what happens on vacation? But again, the same thing, running behind drinking alcohol and women and gambling and everything. Versus even when devotees are on vacation, they utilize that extra time to chant, to think about Krishna, to spread the glories of Krishna. Right? So this is not telling us to become like the Paramahamsas, to give up everything and just sit and chant Krishna's name and just do that. We have families, we have children, we have responsibilities, we have husband, wife, we need to fulfill those responsibilities. But the goal of this is to not make right money the center of our life, but to make Krishna the center of our life. So we will end that here and then we will continue tomorrow. And again, this chapter is where Brahma was stealing the boys and the calves. But in the first two shlokas, Sukdev Goswami Maharaj is praising, right, Raja Parikshit for listening so attentively, for listening as if Krishna's activities are newer and newer, right? And so that's where Sukdev Goswami Maharaj is comparing even Raja Parikshit to the Paramhamsas, right? Just as how attentively he was listening with so much enthusiasm, and he was listening 24 hours a day during the last 7 days of his life. Right? So we also should strive to always think of Krishna, spend more and more time thinking about Krishna, listening to Hari Katha, performing Hari Seva, and of course, performing Kirtan, chanting Krishna's name. especially during this Kartik month. We'll continue tomorrow. Before we end, we'll chant together Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra Bihari Lal ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Damodar ki jai. जय श्री श्री गौर निताय की जय। जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे। हरे कृष्ण।